Hello everybody, I am the Sultan Husky, and thank you for joining me on this episode of the Redstone Researchers. Today we're going to be going over three topics that I think form the center of all things redstone. Redstone, of course, power sources, and repeaters. And let's start with redstone. What is it? What can it do? Well, let's find out. Redstone can be thought of as the copper wire of the Minecraft world because, just like real copper wire, it transmits power from a power source, such as the redstone torch here. Now it can transmit this in any of the four directions. It can even go down and up one block gaps. Now unfortunately, because of a one gap limitation, we can't just go straight up this pillar. No matter where we click here or here, there, it just won't connect. However, if we did want to get up 2 blocks, we'd have to build something like a 1-block staircase where we can go up it and then back down. But there is a limitation. Unfortunately, if we wanted to get a signal there, we can't just go up and then right back down the block because there's no gap there for the redstone to connect. We'd have to go along the same plane and then through. Now, there is a workaround to this, and it will be discussed later in our extra credit session. Next, power sources. Power sources are, as the name suggests, sources of power that lines of redstone can then transmit. Now, these come in many different varieties, more than I could say in a single breath. So we'll only be covering the simple ones that most, if not all, Minecraft players already know about. So we won't take too long on them. Now, these could be short-term ones, such as the 2 different kinds of button and the 2 kinds of pressure plate, which all go away after a short amount of time. Then there are some that are constant, such as the lever, which provides power until it's turned off again, and those such as the torch and the block of redstone, which both transmit power until they're broken. Now, how far does a power source transmit power? Is it endless? The short answer, no, it's not. And, thankfully, there's a quick and simple demonstration we can do just to see how far most power sources can transmit. And it is, of course, a line of redstone. All we gotta do is place a power source right at the end here, and then start counting the blocks. Normally it might take me a minute, but I've already marked some out. So there's number 5, and still going. Number 10, still going. All the way up to number 15. Where it'll still power this lamp here. Now, how do we know 15 is the limit? Because if we go 1 block further and then place the lamp, that lamp isn't lighting up, which means that's not getting power. So 15 is the furthest limit that a redstone block can reach. Now, this is true of blocks of redstone, redstone torches, buttons, levers. Most of the power sources will reach 15. Some of them won't reach 15, some won't go further than a block, and we'll discuss all those in a later episode. But for right now, all the important ones, they reach 15 blocks. There is a way, however, to make it reach a little further, and those are called repeaters. I'm sorry, did I say a little bit further? I meant a lot further. Now, what a repeater does, at least in its most basic use, is it takes a redstone signal of any strength. It could be all the way at 5 blocks or all the way at the 15th block, and boosts it back up as if it had just left the power source. So as you can see, I've added another nice line of redstone. I think it's about 12 or 13 blocks that normally this redstone just wouldn't reach. See, the lamp's not on. Now, right here, right where the power ends, if we put a repeater to boost it back up again, you can see it takes signal and boosts it all the way. Now you don't only have to use a repeater once. You could place another one here and continue to take the redstone a bit further. And then why not put another one? And then just keep on using it, and suddenly that power source, that redstone block, is reaching all the way. Yep, right there. Repeaters have some uses outside of just boosting signal, though, and those will all be discussed in our further episode when we talk about circuits. Simple circuits, probably. Alrighty, everybody, it is time for your end of day quiz. I'm going to ask a series of 3 questions, give you, we'll say 10 seconds to answer each one, and then at the end of that 10 seconds, I will roll the clip that shows the answer. Are we ready? First question is a true or false. So, is this statement true or false? Redstone cannot carry a signal up or down a gap of any size. 10 seconds starting now. Alrighty, got your answer? Let's roll the clip and see if you're right. Now it can transmit this in any of the 4 directions. It can even go down and up 1 block gaps. Alright, so that statement is false. Turns out redstone can carry a signal up or down a 1 block gap, but no more. Question number 2 is a multiple choice. How far can most power sources transmit power? Is the answer 5 blocks, 10 blocks, 15 blocks, or 20 blocks? 10 seconds. Alright, so the answer is, so there's number 5 and still going. Number 10, still going. All the way up to number 15, where it'll still power this lamp here. Now how do we know 15 is the limit? Because if we go 1 block further and then place the lamp, that lamp isn't lighting up, which means that's not getting power. So 15 is the furthest limit that a redstone block can reach. 15 blocks. And finally, question number 3 is another true and false. So, true or false, repeaters can only retransmit power for 5 more blocks. And roll the clip. If we put a repeater to boost it back up again, you can see it takes signal and boosts it all the way. So, it turns out repeaters can transmit power for much longer than 5 blocks. Although it's not mentioned in the clip, the proper answer is that they can retransmit power for 15 blocks, as if they were right next to another power source. And that about does it for the quiz portion of this episode. If you didn't get all 3 of them right, hey, that's alright. That's what this video is here for. We're all learning. Now, there's just one little bit of extra credit that I'd like y'all to look into, and we'll roll right into it right now. Earlier, I mentioned that because of this 1x2 staircase that's getting the power up to the 2nd level, if we remove this redstone dust, this piece here is not getting any more power. Because while, yes, redstone can go up and down 1 block gaps, it can't this particular time because there's no space there. And I happened to mention that there was a workaround. And there is, it's just kind of limited. At least in what it can do. It is any kind of slab. You'll see with the slab there, and there being space, there redstone's heading down there and it's powering all the way out. Now, because it's still a block, it can bring power up, which is really, really useful if you're looking for any kind of, say, redstone ladder, and you need room to get redstone up. It's just kind of tricky to set up sometimes. And you need to get redstone signal up. Hey, then you've got it made, because you're not pinching that connection there like you would with this kind of tower, because you'll see it won't connect to each other because there's no gap there. However, this is limited because while it can transmit power up, it cannot transmit power back down. So slabs useful for getting power up but not down. And that about does it for this week's episode of the Redstone Researchers. Now, just a couple last minute notes I'd like to pass along to you. You'll notice the extra credit this week was rather short. Now, if you can comment anything I missed in this episode, and I happen to see it, I might include it in next week's episode, next week's extra credit, and mention your name in it. Second thing, you'll notice, or you may have noticed, that I have a partner with me. And right now his name is just Subscriber. Well, from next week onward, I'll be choosing a random subscriber of mine, and that'll be his or her name for that week. If I get enough subscribers and we get big enough, we might add more wolves, we might not. We'll see. But that'll do it for now. I am the Sulchin Husky, and I will see you next time. Good night, everybody.